Hello, everyone. This is the Drive-By Download Keylogger project by Brennan Simpkins, Travis Davison, and Dominic Kiefer. The goal of this project was to install and execute a keylogger on the victim's computer. This would be done by drive-by download, which would be given by cross-site scripting, and the buffer overflow and the shell code to execute and download a keylogger that would remain on the victim's PC.
This is a cross-site scripting demo showing a rudimentary cross-site scripting attack. This right here is a generic website that has a text entry common in many websites such as a search bar. In this case, if a text is entered, in this case dog, and we hit submit, all it does is show whatever we typed in right here. Nothing bad happens here. But in this case, if a malicious actor enters in special text in the form of a legitimate code, in this case it's HTML, this one forces an alert. If we hit submit, we actually force the website to do whatever we say in here, which in this case just prints out a message. This is not very damaging. But in the actual drive-by download attack, the attack starts by putting something here that forces the download of additional malicious code from the internet onto this website, making the website now infected. Websites that have databases attached to them, which are most websites, such as blogging, shopping, or other commercial sites, this now malicious code is usually stored on those databases. When these now infected databases are loaded later by a victim, the malicious code will also be loaded and executed. For the drive-by download attack specifically, the malicious code usually looks at the versions of software running on the victim's computer, such as OS, browser, and other such items, for known vulnerabilities in those versions of those systems, to launch the next stage of the attack. In this case, that attack is focused on the buffer overflow. This is a quick explanation of a buffer overflow attack. Operations like string copy in C is vulnerable to writing more data to memory than it should be allowed. In this case, a buffer is allocated to support up to 100 bytes, but over 500 bytes are written in the attack, causing the buffer to overflow. The first part is a memory address that is repeated so that the value of the EIP return address is overwritten so that the processor starts execution in the yellow section. In this part, the yellow section contains the no operation. This repeated instruction does no operation itself, but forces the processor to execute the code immediately after it. In this case, the immediately after it is the third red part, which is a malicious code that uses a shell command to start the next part of the attack. This is the demo for the buffer overflow attack. It is shown here an example of strings of ones and spaces that is used for normal input, non-malicious. The GBD here is a debugging program within Linux that is used in the attack of the malicious code to stabilize the address of the stack. It has no effect on the normal operation. And this is the stack itself. If we go and execute this and hit run inside of GBD, the program is executed successfully as it says returned properly, so this did not impede any of the normal operation. As you can see here, the 31 for decimal 1 and then the 20 for the spaces, and so this is the actual string we input. The malicious code has now been changed, so now that you have the repeated address repeated all over, then you now have the nope sled that's down here, and then you have the malicious code down here. If we go and execute this again, same way we did before, and this time we hit run. As you can see here, it actually ends up with us having access to the shell. As you can see here, a new program is actually running a shell. This is one of the codes you can actually do in this, and so now you would actually be executing a malicious code on the shell itself by using the buffer overflow.
My name is Travis Davison. I did the shellcode portion of this project. So right here we've got a drive with our file that we're trying to download. And this is our shellcode. We've got our file ID, which is linked to this file. This is the file that we're going to download. We use the wget function. We keep it on quiet, so it's -q. And then we input this right here. And then we do another one. This gets rid of the virus checking as well, so it just downloads it straight away. And then we've got an execution right here, and it's going to execute the file that we downloaded. We renamed it right here. I'm going to go ahead and show that to you guys. We're going to go ahead and do bash download.sh. It's going to download the file, keep it quiet, not say anything. And then in that file that we downloaded, it's just a simple hello world. And that's it.
Now that the keylogger is on the victim's PC, it will be logging all of the keystrokes. For demonstration purposes, I've left the console on, but for the proper executable, the console would not be there. This would just look like a normal taskbar that a victim might have. Now that all the keystrokes are being logged, we can look up popular vacation spots as a demonstration. All this is being logged now, or say if a victim was going to go into their Facebook account, which is Facebook128, and their password, which is password exclamation point. All of this is now being saved into a text file, which will be sent to an email that we have just specified, which is going to be to ourselves in this fake email that we made right here. So we see here that this is the first logger report. This always gets sent whenever the keylogger is turned on. It's just empty. It's just setting up the file. But in about a couple seconds, the next one for the minute will be sent out. This logger gives a file every minute, which can be adjusted depending on what we want. So we see here another email has been sent. In this attachment, we can see here that we have the popular vacation spot, enter the Facebook account, password, exclamation point, everything that we just typed there right there was logged.